What is going on, everyone? My name is Northy, and of course, we are here for the round 20 preview on the Friday. As you all know, I have been very used to uploading my videos quite late. I think last week was uploaded on the Saturday before or right after the North Melbourne Carlton game. So this week, we're doing it differently. We're getting this done, getting it out of the way beforehand, making sure we're on top of things, and we are here 7 hours pretty much before the round 20 game starts. An interesting Friday night matchup with St Kilda versus Carlton, I believe, if I'm correct. I hope I am. I hope I haven't messed that up. But St Kilda versus Carlton. It's a very interesting one. I really didn't understand why that was the choice, but oh well, whatever you say. Hopefully, the way I think it'll go will happen. Jack Steele, of course, is a huge part of our teams, so we'll see how he does as well. Against Carlton could go well, but it's going to be interesting to see who does better in terms of Jack Steele versus Sam Walsh. But we're going to start with our Star Powers team today. As you can see here, a fair few changes. I've tried to stay up to date with everything, trying to get an understanding. We are sticking with our two greens as per usual in Mega Green Brodie Grundy and Mega Super Clayton Oliver. Those two have been consistently good for me, 90 plus points most of the time. That's all I really need to keep me in the upper echelon of Star Powers players. However, it's always these three that I'm looking out for. Last week was disappointing because our rising, Taron Thomas, was really good. Almost 100 points. He had 97, did big things. However, due to a early onset concussion symptom, I believe that's what it was, or basically a couple of days after he was starting to show symptoms for a concussion, or starting to show signs he had a concussion, and so he's been called out for this weekend's game against the Geelong Cats, as well as Ben Cunnington for a tumour found in his man area. Unfortunately, I try and say it without being weird or trying to say it without using crazy language, but at the end of the day, it is a very serious diagnosis that needs to be taken seriously. And although I do mess around, I don't want to get it twisted. It's something very serious. I hope Ben Cunnington can rest up, take it easy, recover, hopefully, and I'm praying for the best for him because Ben Cunnington has been amazing this season, and from what it looks like, he could be out for the rest of it now with this diagnosis. So thank you, Ben, for everything you've done this season. Hopefully you'll be back stronger and better than ever next season, because we've got a lot of good signs. But Taron Thomas is out as well, and he's being replaced by Jordan Ridley in my rising, as he's probably the most consistent player, I think, other than Taron Thomas right now. Caleb Sarong does pretty well on average, but Jordan Ridley gets the job done most of the time as well. Hopefully we can get a 68 or a 70 point performance potentially. I don't know, because he won't be kicking too many goals. He hangs around that back line with the intercept mark, so I'm hoping that Jordan Ridley will get his hands on the ball, do a few things, and put up a 70 point performance. I think that's what we're aiming for. If we can get 400 between those two, 70 is more than enough. But Josh Kennedy here had 100 points last week. As you know, we had David Mundy, and he really let me down. So we've got Josh Kennedy in there, as he had 100 points. He's averaging a fair bit per game. If we can get an 80 plus point performance from him, I will be happy with that. And then our future, we've got Riley O'Brien. I didn't know whether I wanted Hugh McCluggage or Riley O'Brien. I've stuck with Riley purely because of the fact that he's a ruckman, so he gets those hit out points. But you can see as well, had a load of disposals and a load of mark, which is great for a ruckman, because on top of that, you got those extra points from the hit outs that they get. I don't know whether he kicked any goals or not, but a 91 point performance. If we can get something similar, this could be a really deadly lineup, and I'm hoping these two perform out of their mind, because players like Jack Steele and Sam Walsh have the opportunity to overtake them as they did in the previous weeks. As you can see here, we've got Sam Walsh, who didn't perform as well as usual last week, but he could go off. Jack McRae did really well, and you can see here, Jack Steele, not the game you really expect, but players like Max Gorn, Paddy Dangerfield, Marcus Bontempelli, all doing big things. So it's honestly a toss-up every week as to which Mega and Super player is going to be the best. However, they all give you a lot of points. So I'm hoping that can go well for us. But we go out of star powers and over to top team. So you can see right here, I'm not making any changes, man. Marcus Bontempelli, I know I could change him up for Paddy Dangerfield, as Geelong's system probably works Paddy a bit more around the on-ball stuff. And he gets his hands on the ball a lot more than others, and even at times gets pushed up into the forward line, as we saw against Richmond. He was put in that one-on-one situation in the full forward with Jeremy Cameron out. He was switching with Radigalea, I think. But it'll be interesting because I'm hoping Bontempelli can put up those numbers like he did against, if I can remember, Melbourne. Did really big things for him. So I'm hoping that we can get the similar result here. 101 points is great. If we can get over 100 points, that's what we aim for. Obviously, there's going to be players like Larky and Heaney who pull out crazy stuff out of nowhere, but I'm hoping that Bontempelli can pull out big work. Brody Grundy has been lacking a little bit. I haven't seen him get a first in a while, but he's still getting decent points. 90 plus is what I always expect from him. Anything less, and it's a bit disappointing. And Rory Laird just continues to never let me down. Even when Crisp has a crazy game, Rory Laird just comes and brings the same action. It's hilarious, but I'm sticking with the top four, as well as Jack Steele. He plays tonight, so hopefully we'll see more possessions from him, because only 18 is really not what I expect from him. He only stayed in that 90 range because of his tackles and marks. 18 between them. That saved him from having an absolute stinker of a week, as we did get 400 last week. But only in the 100s. It's always interesting with the top four. But top 18 we go to now. As you can see here, a lot of really interesting developments for my team. 2 North Melbourne forwards. This hasn't happened in a very long time. I've got these 2 in here, and I'm actually going to make a live change, I think. I'm not too sure how Sam Walsh will go. Honestly, it could go either way, but I'm thinking about changing him with Clayton, maybe Jared Lyons or Christian Petrarca. I'm not too sure. I'm backing myself out now. I really should just stick with my guns, man. There's times where you just need to, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to stick with it, but I'm not sure whether Callum Mills comes back. I will quickly check that now. So Callum Mills does come back this week, so I'm actually going to change him out. However, I don't know whether it's between Tom Stewart and Dyson Heppel, because these four, for the most part, Whitfield's had a few sketchy ones here and there, but for the most part have been very tough to work with. However, Geelong are playing North. I don't know how dominant North are going to be, because North are missing a lot of pieces. I'm seeing a load more people a lot more confident with North Melbourne than I am right now, because I know what this team is coming into this matchup. We do not have Ben Cunnington. We do not have Taron Thomas. We do not have Cam Zerha. I don't know why so many people expect us to make it close. I really don't expect it, so I think I'm going to get rid of Tom Stewart. I don't know, and I don't trust myself to... I gotta take out Heppel. I gotta do it. We're putting in Callum Mills here. I'm gonna go to season average just to make this a little bit easier. Callum Mills, we're chucking you in. Oh, man. I don't know how I feel about that one. But, Tom Stewart, please say that North actually put some forward pressure up. Because, realistically, Tom Stewart shouldn't be getting too much of the ball. I mean, North may just completely surprise me and really pump it to Geelong. But Geelong know how to play against teams like us. They should know, at least. The scouting for us should be stop us going middle. And players like Tom Stewart and Backman who know how to read those plays should be able to destroy us. This Geelong team should destroy us. You can tell I have a lot of confidence in my team, yeah. But this is such a scary week for me. I do not know who's going to perform. We've got Degoe in there still. He can get on ball and do a few big things for us here and there. Isaac Heaney had a big game, so I've just chucked him in for the week. We'll see how he goes against Essendon. Jaden Stevenson has looked really dangerous as of late, so I've chucked him in. And obviously I've got Dangerfield, Zeeble, and Bontempelli, who have stayed pretty consistent in the team. Obviously, Zeeble not as high as some, but as a backman for North Melbourne right now, he's not a bad choice. He's a pretty consistently decent choice, and I'm hoping he can get some marks and some kicks up, maybe for some big possessions. But Jack McRae is back in. I'm hoping that his usual 30-plus possession game style will come in clutch for us. The marks, the goals, maybe we'll see from him. It's an interesting one for me. I don't really like putting in players just because they had a good like one-off performance where they got number 1. But Jack McRae, I've had him before, and I know what he's capable of. So I'm hoping that this isn't a bad decision. I don't know why. I do not feel confident about any of what I'm doing here. But like Callum Mills in now off of COVID protocols. I don't know how to feel about that. 3 Sydney players, 2 North forwards against Geelong is super interesting. I mean, technically 1 because Zeeble is a backman, but Stevenson does get a bit of on-ball chance, and he probably will a bit more now that Taron Thomas and Cunnington are out. He'll probably get a lot more on ball than we're used to, but oh man, I am not confident at all with this team. So I'm hoping Walsh and Steele will put on a performance for us tonight. I'm hoping those 2 will do big things. Walsh at his best is really dominant. You'll notice I don't have Darcy Parish in here as well. I've taken him out because when he gets tagged, and a lot more teams are doing it, when he gets tagged, he looks a bit lost. He doesn't know what he's doing out there. So either I'll regret my decision and Sydney won't tag him and he'll go off for a big possession, big mark, big tackles. We'll see what happens there. Or I'll be right. Sydney will tag him and he'll struggle to really get himself involved in the game. Because a lot of people are starting to realize if you just take out Parish and Merritt from the midfield, there's not too much going their way. I mean, obviously Stringer is really good at getting that first centre clearance. He's been really good all season, but once he kind of gets out of that position, he becomes a lot more of a deeper forward, trying to kick those goals and, you know, do it that way. But oh man, this is why I'm not confident. Even my backline, the one that I'm almost always confident with, I'm not confident today. Oh god. Let's hope that I don't make any mistakes here. But last week we were 79th in the top 18. So, I'm stressing with this one. I am stressing hard. Let's hope that things go well. Oh, let's go to our tips. Let's just stop focusing on all the points side of things. And yeah, as you can see here, I've already submitted my tips. I made sure to do it. But I'm going to quickly go to change your tips just so you can watch it. Melbourne over Gold Coast. I think this is a pretty safe one. However, we won't be 100% sure after their Hawthorn performance. I can't believe that Hawthorn. We should be above Hawthorn right now. But of course, Melbourne keeps them at our range, right at 18 with us. I can't believe it. The Dogs should take a pretty convincing win over Adelaide. Hence why I have McRae and I also have Bontempelli in there. We've got West Coast over Collingwood. Jordan De Goey should hopefully make a bit of impact. I think it'll be a closer game than people expect. I think it'll be close. I've gone Sydney over Essendon. I think Sydney will take it. They've just been so good. Their system works so well. And now that Essendon's flaws are becoming a bit more like apparent, I think Essendon should take it. Sorry, not Essendon should take it. Sydney should take it. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. But Sydney should be able to take it from them. Yeah, I've picked Geelong over North. I'd be very ambitious to say that North's going to take it over Geelong. We've got 3 more weeks after this anyway. I do believe we won't finish last. I just don't think it'll happen this week. Especially with all the outs. I'm just tipping anyone other than Hawthorn right now. Brisbane, if you let me down, I will lose it. I will lose it if somehow Brisbane loses to Hawthorn. I will have a meltdown on camera. But GWS versus the Port Power, a very tough one for GWS, but GWS have proved to me that whenever there's something on the line, they just flatten out. They're a very interesting squad this year because they've beaten some really good ones, like really good ones. But when something's expected, when you think maybe this is when they're going to actually push it and they're actually going to be competitive, they just drop the ball. They did it against Gold Coast. They drew with us. Just really weird stuff from them, and I think Port are going to take it over them this time. I'm picking Freo over Richmond. May be a bad idea because Freo now are without Nat Fyfe. I don't know whether Michael Walters is playing, and those guys look really rough. But then again, Richmond are in the same boat. Obviously, Richmond want to keep their season alive. Personally, I've had enough Richmond for the last 4 years, but if they do it, I wouldn't be surprised. If they beat Fremantle, I would not be surprised. However, I'm picking Fremantle this time around. And then we've got the Saints versus Carlton tonight. As I said, I think the Saints will take it. I think I said that. But if not, that's fine. Carlton have just looked really disappointing. Saints, although they looked much more disappointing earlier on, I think they will take it. Again, it's just hoping that Sam Walsh will play well, try and bring Carlton into it. But I think the Saints will take it over the top of them because Saints, Max King is starting to find his form again. Jack Steele is just so impactful every single game. I think Rowan Marshall is back. I believe there was a stat where when Rowan Marshall and Paddy Ryder are playing, they're 7-2 or 5-2, one of the two, but they're very good when both Paddy and Rowan Marshall are playing. So it may even be helpful, because this video will be going out before the deadline, may even be helpful to you guys chucking in Rowan Marshall at your ruckman position, because he has been pretty impactful. He's been doing pretty well. So that could be an interesting one to point out. But those are my tips. Hopefully things go well for me. I'm praying that things go well for me. Yeah, going to be an interesting week. Going to be a very, very interesting week. But that's all I've got for the round preview for this week. I am praying that this all goes well for me. I'm hoping it does. Obviously, could go either way, especially with that top 18, man. That top 18. Oh, some decisions may be really, really bad, but Callum Mills is playing, so I'm confident putting him in. It's just who I put him in for, and I'm stressing because Tom Stewart is a very impactful player for Geelong, but when you're up against North, it probably won't go in the back line that much. However, in case maybe North have been doing well, but all that, I'm thinking about it now, and it just frustrates me. But let's see how this all goes. Hopefully I do not pick wrong. Hopefully things go well for me. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Everything is always very, very much appreciated, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Goodbye.